Okay.
Good. Okay. Today's speech is on traditional retail over the free-to-play model. There is a proper procedure for taking advantage of any investment. Music, for example. Buying a CD is an investment. To get the maximum, you must listen to it for the first time under optimum conditions. Not in your car or on a portable player, through a headset. Take it home. Get rid of all distractions, even him or her. Turn off your cell phone. Turn off everything that rings or beeps or rattles or whistles. Make yourself comfortable. Listen all the way through. Think about what you got. Think about who would appreciate this investment. Decide if there's someone to share this with. Turn it on and enjoy it again. What I'm going to talk about today is the traditional retail model of video games versus the free-to-play model. Last speech I went over what the traditional model was. For those of you who are new here, traditional model is going to store, buy a game. Free-to-play model is you go on Facebook, you go on to your phone, whatever, and the game is right there. It's a free-to-play model. You're free to play as much as you want. Traditional retail games are based upon a combination of smaller ideas and mechanics, which combine to create a larger picture. Retail games have a number of ideas and mechanics that come together, which create the games that you find in stores for the $60 price tag. As in comparison to a free-to-play model where the basics is exactly what you're going to get. Therefore, when you purchase a traditional retail model game, go to a store and purchase a game, you're expecting a lot more. Your level of quality is a lot higher than it would be if you just turned on Facebook and took care of the farm. It's a very mundane task. You know what to expect. It's just a matter of time before you go back and do the same thing again. Whereas in a store-bought game, you would expect a higher caliber of experience. Therefore, your investment is going to be worth your enjoyment. Not necessarily more money you put into a game, but if you're going to go free, you're pretty much getting what you paid for. There are anywhere from 60 to 200 people who work on your average video game. This goes from anything from a basic online downloadable game like Castle Crashers, to Uncharted, to Mortal Kombat, to Street Fighter. There's 200 people, max, up to any time, working on a game. With this level of talent and caliber of a size of the project, what ends up happening is you have a lot more attention to detail, mainly because there's a bottom line attached to these. Free-to-play games don't necessarily have that much of a bottom line. They're good if they break even, but even more so, their biggest thing is advertisements and enticing you to come back in. As we spoke about before with DLC, downloadable content, people pay more to keep playing these games. In Mafia War, you have coins. In Farmville, you have, I think it's more coins. It's a whole bunch of coins. You actually pay real money for virtual currency. And to a certain degree, what necessarily do you have to show for it? It is a give-or-take scenario depending on what your type of playing is. There's a casual player, and then your average home console or PC player. With a larger team, there's more art assets. You can expect more. You should expect more. If you're paying $60 for something, you should expect a lot more. It's just built better. It's designed from the ground up. It's about an 18-month process that actually goes into creating a game, which really brings forth a better project all across the boards. And a free-to-play model does not have the luxury of time. Most free-to-play models are actually developed within a 6-month lifespan. A 6-month lifespan for a game is actually, it's relatively unheard of. You're going to get the very basics. If there's going to be one mechanic in the game, or two, there's going to be one that works incredibly well. That's it, and that's all you're going to get. Past that point, if you're looking for anything of a deeper experience, something with depth, something that is going to keep you coming back outside of a mild attraction, outside of something that just distracts you, you're not looking at a free-to-play game. You're looking at something that you're actually going to spend money on. With a better production team, you get better production values. If you look at most of the games on your iOS, you look at most of your games on Facebook or MySpace or AddictiveGames.com, the production values are basic at minimum. A lot of those art assets are recycled from other games. You'll notice if you go onto the iOS, there's actually a knockoff Super Mario 3D World that Apple actually approved, completely bit off. These ideas don't necessarily constitute a better product. When you have a full team dedicated to an idea, what ends up happening, you get a way better product. Pretty much you're getting what you pay for. The argument for free to play is that free is always better. That doesn't necessarily constitute the truth. Free to play is not necessarily free to play because the cost of continuing the game is costing you actual currency. Many people are familiar with World of Warcraft. I went through this before. Guild Wars, DC Universe Online. These offer a free-to-play model. However, if you want more content or you want to get any higher than level 20, which will probably take you about 5 to 6 hours, you're going to have to invest some money into it. So how does the free-to-play model work on a traditional retail scale? Is ultimately it's a bait and switch. I'm getting you in the door. I'm giving you this. If you're enjoying this, you're going to pay more. Which, in the same situation of a DLC, kind of operates the same, but by the time you finish, you've already paid full price for the game. These games are no longer profitable, and they cease to operate. A lot of games in Facebook that started off in the beginning, Zynga company, a lot of those games are now gone, and they've just upgraded and went to something else. Once something hits less than 1 million users, cut, chop, moved on to the next thing. And the business model only functions if it garners enough attention that friends of friends want to play and bring in more of their friends. The free-to-play model only works if you're playing and you tell him and you tell her and she tells her, and that's it. It's a big word-of-mouth thing. There is no guaranteed line. There's no guaranteed line of we have this much success. As with the traditional retail, they're guaranteed sales because Toys R Us is going to buy a bunch of copies. Best Buy is going to have it in stores. GameStop's going to have it in stores. They're guaranteed to generate some profit, break even. Now, past that point, if the game is good and it moves off the shelves, your numbers increase. If you took a free vacation but you had to cover the cost of your food, hotel room, and any additional fees, would it be a free vacation? That's pretty much the mindset of a free-to-play model. Online maintenance needs to be maintained. If the game has any type of online functionality where you have to play 1 versus 2 players, if the game goes down, you just turn on the game one day and you're done. Well, that's pretty much the end of it. Whereas you have a PlayStation Network or Xbox Live where you pay for these things. You have more online servability, you have way more dedication than you would for somebody just putting something out there. System errors need to be fixed. Games do break from time to time. Coding does go bad. Certain things are not patched. On free to play, these things are not taken care of. It's pretty much just left out there to the community. If it sucks, it sucks. There's nothing else you can do about it. And lastly, additional packs need to be created to keep players coming in. DLC is a big thing. Modern Warfare, Uncharted, Mortal Kombat, additional characters, additional packs, continuously supporting the game not only bumps it up above the retail price, asking for suggested retail price, but it also creates more revenue for the company. In addition to that, with free to play, it is what it is. You have base, that's about the end of it. Typically in a free system, something is for sale, and in most cases, it's your personal information. Another big thing about free-to-play games is that your information is up for grabs. Anytime you hit allow on any of those Facebook games, anything that you have on your status, your personal information, your email, whatever, is up for sale. They gain all that information just by allowing access. It's completely different than if you purchase a game, you bought the rights to their game, your information is not for sale. They may ask you if you want updates and things like that, but past that point, it does not debilitate you from actually playing the game. In conclusion, my opening statement speaks volume regarding your purchases and how you relate to them. Do you feel you got your money's worth? Would you recommend this to others? Are you happy with it? My choice will always be to stay with the traditional retail games because I can expect a higher level from them and hold on to that higher standard for days on end. Free-to-play is a nice alternative, but beware, if the price is an issue, then buy what works for you. But be a smart shopper. I prefer to catch great deals than a wrong one. And that's the end.